Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 21st. You have this Foresee card and this Forgive card. I mean, of course, you have this Foresee card. You are a Pisces, so you can see the future, right? And I think that would be good for you, just paying attention. We have the Three of Wands, which is the card of foresight, being able to look into the future. So, this has a very futuristic vibe to me here. I kind of get this feeling of just needing to not give up on something here, Pisces. And especially, let me tell you what I'm feeling. If you are working on something and you're not getting like immediate results, like right this second, I'm talking about like a project, a business, could be anything, could be your health or whatever. I just feel like this reading is saying like you're on the right track. So like don't give up on something that will work too soon, right? Especially if you're working on something new or, like a new project, a new idea in your life, or, if you're thinking about moving in a new direction just in general. I do feel it's kind of like saying that you should not give up. So I get that feeling for some reason. You don't have any cards that really would say that, but, it's the feeling I get. You have the Three of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Five of Swords. I do also feel that, like, some of you could be releasing something. You have that Forgive card, and you have the Three of Cups, and then you end with the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords is coming up in the good stuff, which is, pretty much fine, but, some of you could be, like, forgiving a past situation, could be, like, a third-party situation or something like that, and you could just be, letting it go, and so some of you could be dealing with that. On top of that, I do feel like you're, like, I think, I've said this to you before, but one thing Pisces will probably notice as we, like, especially as we get into May, is that you become more popular. So don't be surprised if, like, all of a sudden people are wanting your attention, wanting to hang out, wanting to see you, all that stuff, right? Don't be surprised if you're on Tinder and your Tinder's getting blown up, right? I think you could be becoming, like, noticing that people are giving you more attention. And so that could be a good thing. It could be a very social time for you. You have the Three of Wands. I really feel this don't give up energy on this Three of Wands, especially if you've recently started a new project. Like I said, something like a new project or a new health routine. It's a great time for Pisces to work on health and things like that as well. So anything that you're doing, like, Three of Wands is normally like expansion or your ships coming in. I do feel like Pisces could be getting better results, like financially as well. It is popping into my head, especially if you've done a bunch of work in the past and you feel like you haven't been getting what you deserve. That is also popping into my head with this card, but I really just get this feeling that's saying, like, you already know that something is going to work, so, like, don't quit now. Don't quit before you have the success that you're trying to have. And sorry, I just realized that my microphone's in the wrong position, so hopefully you are hearing this, but, again, that's kind of the feeling I get with this card. You have the Five of Swords. I feel like they're just like little tiny things that you have to let go of at this time, not for any other reason than just for your own mental health, right? I think that's how I'm seeing this card. I feel like it's little tiny things, little tiny, people who have burned you in the past, or situations that you've been through, or people who have left you, or all these like little tiny things are popping up in my head with this card. But again, sometimes I think we don't realize how much those tiny little things affect you. If you've ever gone on a long hike and you can have a tiny little pebble in your foot, and by the end of the hike, your foot will be destroyed, right? So it's like one of those things where that's how I feel. It's like this is almost like a grain of sand that is in your shoe, and you've been walking for a long time. And I feel it's time to get that grain of sand out of your shoe, and just simply by not thinking about it anymore, which is hard, but you can practice correcting your thoughts, and through correcting your thoughts, you can get rid of those thoughts, right? And so that's what I would do there. But let's see what else wants to come up for you here, Pisces. Here you go. With the Three of Cups, you have the Nine of Wands. Don't give up. Exactly what I was saying. So Nine of Wands is a card of perseverance. Nine of Wands is also the card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And so I feel for a lot of you that this is kind of like a card of experimentation and, trying something crazy, putting things out into the world, not giving up. So that's what I would do here. I would say also it does look like a good week for you to have boundaries. And I think the type of boundaries that Pisces needs to have right now is not trusting people too early. And that doesn't mean you don't trust people. It means that you allow people to show you that they can be trusted. And so in the messages from your future self in the Lenormand, you have the snake in the home or the house. And so that can represent like a tricky person or, a person who's a liar or whatever. So I would definitely kind of be careful of that. But, I think you'll be fine if you trust yourself. With the Three of Wands, you have the star. You are the star right now. You are getting all this attention. Like I said, I feel there could be a lot of attention coming in for you. I do feel like it would be a good time to try to accomplish something impossible right now as well, which I've said to you for years with Neptune and Pisces. But, again, you have one last chance. Neptune will retrograde back into Pisces this year. So it's I really want to encourage you to try to do something impossible. It doesn't even have to be anything all that great. It could be something small, but I would still try. With the Five of Swords, you have the High Priestess, the little mental things that are going on up here. It's funny that I said sometimes you don't realize what's going on because, she has this tapestry behind her. It's kind of like needing to peek behind the curtain, right? But I think you need to peek behind your own curtain here, Pisces, and, look at those little thoughts or those little annoyances in your life and think about how you can remove them, reinvent them, transform them, whatever you need to do. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this dog. It says loyalty and determination. You also have this strength, or this bear card. It says strength and resourcefulness on it. But you also have the Queen of Pentacles, and she is the card of resourcefulness. First off, I do feel good about love for you, as I've said before, through May, June, July. It's a good time for love. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a loyal person coming in for you. I do feel the reading itself is saying, Pisces needs to practice just allowing a connection, not rushing into something, right? And so that's definitely popping into my head. I also feel that this is you committing to work, because we have the Queen of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. It's like you're committing to a new direction. You have the Two of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. I think everybody needs more play right now in their lives. So anything that you can do to have more fun, enjoy yourself more, get out of your head, go do something for yourself, all that would be very good. I also feel sometimes, with the Two of Pentacles, you can see over here, these waves start very small, and then the waves across the card get bigger and bigger and bigger. Sometimes I feel that the Two of Pentacles represents something in your life that is getting harder to ignore, like an idea, a plan, a move you want to make, something like that. And so if something is getting harder to ignore, then I would explore it with the Two of Pentacles. This could be pretty much anything. And so I would try it, whatever it is. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Again, definitely a good time for resourcefulness for Pisces. Like I always say to you, Pisces, I think money is going to be improving, but that doesn't mean that you should be spending it all over the place, right? And also, I think that if there are ways that you can be more resourceful to even if you are making a bunch of money, if there are ways that you can save it or, even what I'm trying to spit out here is, if let's say you want to buy something expensive, I feel like this card is saying it would be fine for you to buy something expensive, but it's can you get a deal? Can you find a better deal? Can you buy something that's refurbished, right? Or something like that. And that's definitely popping into my head. The other thing I will say about the Queen of Pentacles is that sometimes I feel that she represents multiplication. We have this rabbit right here. The rabbit on the Queen of Pentacles can represent fertility and abundance. It can represent fears and anxiety, but, rabbits multiply very quickly. I feel for sure that Pisces needs to make sure that they are looking at their activities, the things they do, and what things do you do during your day that have a bigger effect? Meaning, it's in work. There are some things you do that maybe make a big difference and really kind of get your work out there. Maybe there are some other things that slow you down. This card says double down on the things that multiply, and that's what I would do with the Queen of Pentacles. You have the Seven of Pentacles. definitely some sort of change in work. I mean, obviously you have Neptune going into your second house. Even if Aries isn't your second house, doesn't matter. I still feel that that Aries energy that Pisces is going to be dealing with could be kind of affecting how they make money. And so there's a lot of opportunity for Pisces to make money. I like I've said before, I know a lot of Pisces are worried about Neptune and Aries. Now, normally it's true that if Neptune moves into your second house, it could bring muddled, like unclear thinking to your financial life. But there's a big difference right now, and that is that we will have Saturn will also be moving into Aries next year. And so personally, I believe that you have learned all this discipline through Saturn and Pisces, right? And you're bringing it forward into Aries with Neptune there. And so as long as you're working on things and you're building like a really solid foundation and discipline, then really you probably will be making more money than ever. So that is the choice I would make if I were you, Pisces. I would get disciplined. I would, start focusing on your values. And the other thing for Pisces is the reason why you're doing things. Like, are you doing something only to make money, or is there a spiritual, side to it, right? So you have to make sure that you're doing things for the right reasons. But, again, if you do that, then things will go very well. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Cups. There could be an Earth sign who is coming in for you. Page of Pentacles, we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Could be a Capricorn, could be any sign that's coming in for you, really. But, the Ace of Cups would be a big love offer that makes you really happy. And the reading does look pretty good with love. The other thing that's popping into my head is that it could be a Capricorn, because it's like the Three of Cups, Nine of Wands, Ten of Swords. It's like I feel that over the years, it's like you've probably experienced a lack of security in your connections. And the thing about Capricorns in relationships is that, when they're loyal, they're super loyal. So, I don't know, it's popping into my head. And even if it's not a Capricorn, right, it doesn't matter. It could just be a person who is super loyal that's coming in here. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the King of Cups, which honestly could just be you. It's funny that you're showing up. It doesn't matter what gender you are, but it's funny you're showing up masculine and they're showing up feminine. It could be the other way around as well, of course, but I kind of just feel this King of Cups is you showing up in this reading. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Five of Cups. Like, worrying about moving on, because we go Five of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Six of Swords to the Ten of Swords here. It's like, you need to not worry about the future, is really what this is saying. The whole reading. Three of Wands as well. The Five of Cups is regrets and sadness, but I feel this is saying you need to let go of some past regrets or things that you do regret. He's grieving the loss of something that he doesn't even enjoy any longer, his taste for wine, and he needs to see these two cups so he can get this bridge and this castle. So like I said, there are these little tiny annoying things that could be thoughts, could be people, could be whatever, that it seems to be getting in the way right now. I don't think in a big way, but it will be a big way if you don't take care of it. So, work on those things, whatever they are. You have the Snake in the house here, like I said earlier. This is coming up in the area of messages from your future self. And again, I would be careful here with these two cards. Make sure to lock your doors. Make sure that, if you're parking your car somewhere, that you don't have your laptop on your back seat just out in the open, right? So that's the first thing that's popping into my head is make sure you don't make it easy for someone to take advantage of you. And that could be robbery or something like that, right? As long as you do that, you'll be fine. The other thing is that I was getting something about needing to make sure that you don't trust something too quickly. And this is not saying that a person you're attracting is going to be a liar. I think that it's just the universe is saying, have you learned your lessons or not? Are you going to fall for a bunch of bullshit like you did last time or not? And so I think that's what Pisces has to think about here with these two cards. One more thing that just popped into my head as well is, your ideas. I think you need to keep things to yourself as well with these two cards right now and not trust people with your ideas, even people who are very close to you. I would just keep things to yourself at this time. You have the Page of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. The Page of Pentacles could be kind of like a new person, like we already said. So there definitely could be a new person coming in for you if you are looking for love. Page of Pentacles can be a little slow, but in this situation, I think that would be a good thing. So if you're attracting someone and it's kind of like moving forward at a little bit slowly, that's probably good. Page of Pentacles is the card of studiousness. So it basically says, take your time to learn a person and things will go well. And that's what I would do with the Page of Pentacles. You have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords, of course, is moving on to calmer shores. So you could be heading towards improvements at this time. And I would just keep doubling down on those improvements. I would also look for things that multiply. Like I said, if you do some sort of activity and it creates more of a result, do it again. Keep doubling down on those good things that are happening to you, and that will help you move forward to calmer shores faster. And that's what I would do with this card. Now, some of you, I do feel, could be completely moving on from something in your life because Seven of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Six of Swords, Ten of Swords, right? It's like this could say that you are completely releasing something that you've been doing for a long time. Again, this fits in very well with Pisces astrology right now, where, we have those eclipses, the retrogrades, Pluto changed signs into Aquarius. We have Neptune changing signs as well. It is, really... it is a perfect storm for you to completely leave one thing behind and start over. And so the Six of Swords always reminds me of going back to the drawing board type energy. It doesn't say you're completely starting over. The woman and the child in this boat, they have these swords in the front of the boat. And the swords kind of represent the lessons they learned, the knowledge they've gained, all that stuff on their journey. So if you are starting over in some area of your life, you're not really starting over. You're starting from a place of knowledge and wisdom, and I feel you should know that. You have the Wheel of Fortune. So fortune's turning in your favor here, Pisces, and I definitely feel things are just improving with the Wheel of Fortune. I also feel like you need to do more things that will kind of increase your luck. I fully believe that we create our own luck. I think luck is just preparation, right? But it's you can't get lucky sitting on your couch at home. So you have to put yourself in positions where you get lucky. It always reminds me, it's I have so many people, I teach YouTube on the weekends, and I have so many students that I've been teaching YouTube to where they're should I publish this video? Should I publish that video? And I'm always yes, you should be publishing all the videos all at once, right? Just get them out there because the more you publish, the more likely it is that you're going to get lucky and one is going to hit. And so that's kind of the feeling I get here with the Wheel of Fortune where it's saying you shouldn't be thinking should I do this? Should I do that? You should be thinking if I take more chances, I will get lucky eventually. And, because there is a good luck energy that exists for you right now. And I would be taking advantage of it and doing as much as you can. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant. Really could lead to marriage if you're meeting a person. Really there's not much else to say there. It could be a very good connection. I always look at the Hierophant as two people who are on a similar path. It doesn't say that the two people are the same. It just says that both people are kind of at the same level. So you could really be attracting a person who's on your level. With the Six of Swords, you have the Four Swords. Yeah, the Four Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering. But he is also hoping and praying for a blessing. There's a person right here who is blessing another person in that stained glass window. So a lot of you maybe have been hoping and praying for a blessing that could be coming in, right? But the blessing is probably going to be coming in through moving on from something because we go up to the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords in the good stuff is a blessing in disguise, right? He only realizes in the future that the death of a situation was a good thing. So, there you go. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Eight of Swords. Yes, needing to set yourself free, right? The Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction or holding yourself back and only seeing one way to do things when there are many ways to do things. So I feel like you need to open up and expand and, kind of look at all the solutions to everything that you're doing. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this communication is key card and this emotions are running high card. So these are going to be positive and, there could be a very strong emotional connection coming in for you. And obviously there could be a lot of communication. You even have the Eight of Wands in this row saying that there probably is going to be a lot of communication. You have the Ten of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Five of Wands. Again, Ten of Swords and the good stuff can represent a blessing in disguise. So I feel for some of you, you could finally be, it kind of gives me the feelings that you are getting a reward for something you went through in the past. So some of you really could be seeing how something that sucked, it actually was worth it because maybe it's leading to something so much better. And that is the feeling that I get on this Ten of Swords energy. You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is quick movement. We see a lot of movement in this reading. Wheel of Fortune, Six of Swords, Three of Wands. These are cards of kind of like move forward movement or, needing to move forward in the case of the Three of Wands. The Eight of Wands is quick movement. So again, like if you, let's say you think you're starting over. If you think you're starting over in like work or business, things are probably going to progress a lot faster than they did the last time. So that's kind of the feeling I get on this card. Of course, there could be a lot of communication with a person. So if you're meeting a new person, you could be talking a lot with the Eight of Wands. For those of you that want love as well, the Eight of Wands is a card of socializing. So it does encourage you to, get out of the house, to go do stuff, to go meet new people and all that other stuff. So I would do that with that card as well. You have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is a card of conflict and competition. One thing I will tell you, Pisces, is that I think with Neptune and Pisces, they're definitely, Neptune in Aries, like, especially when we get to 2026, that, there will be competition for you. But there is no competition is the mindset that you need to develop, right? So I think Pisces is going to be standing out over the next several years, which is probably going to make people jealous, which is going to make people come at you. And the trick for you, Pisces, is number one, to completely ignore it and just not even react to it, right? They say lions don't care about the opinions of sheep, and I feel you need to develop that attitude. The other thing I'm getting here is that, the Five of Wands is coming up in the good stuff. So Five of Wands can represent learning from the competition, but in the sense that you could look at the competition and then you could look at what they are not doing. And if you do that, then you can stand out. So I feel you have a lot of opportunity to stand out, not just right now, but into the future. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Moon. The Moon is your card, number one. But number two, it's like fears, fantasies, illusions. Really, I feel it's just you showing up in the reading. Whenever you show up as the major arcana version of yourself, which you do twice here, you also have the High Priestess. It kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So I feel you're just showing up in a strong position. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Fool. That's the other thing as well with all these like moving on cards, kind of. Seven of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Six of Swords, Ten of Swords. I've done this in my life as well. I've known a lot of Pisces where it's like all of a sudden they just kind of like change course. All of a sudden they just move in a new direction. And so you might just randomly come up with a new idea, and you might have the fear that people are going to say you're foolish. The thing about the Fool is that he's taking the risk that people will say that he is a fool for taking a leap of faith, right? But you are more intuitive. You see things that other people don't. So don't let other people tell you not to do something with your life, especially if you feel it intuitively. Now, it's coming up in the good stuff. So with the Fool and the Eight of Wands, there could be a very quick new beginning where it's like you move in a new direction and like it's successful very quickly. With the Five of Wands, you have the Seven of Swords. Can't make that up. Seven of Swords in the good stuff is coming up with another way of doing things. Here's the competition back here. He is stealing these swords from the competition so they can't be used against him in battle. He is going to war in a different way. Exactly what I said on the Five of Wands, basically. It's like saying, there are things that you could accomplish by finding other ways to do them, even if there is a ton of competition, even if there are a lot of people who are doing the same thing and all that other good stuff. So, there you go. You have this crown card. It says honor and respect will come to you. Love it. You could be claiming your crown at this time, Pisces. You have this reconciliation card. This card kind of represents the universe reconciling with you, not necessarily a person. It's kind of like an energy of, the universe bringing you good energy. And we said something here about, in this reading about like something coming back to you, like for work that you've already done. And so a lot of you definitely could be getting rewards for work you've done. You have this fox. It says shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. With the Seven of Pentacles, yes, absolutely. I would say in all areas of your life. The Seven of Swords is a card of tactics. It says, everything that you're about to do, is there a better way to do it? And I don't know. You have to do your research on the actions that you're going to take, and you're going to have to look and see, like, are there other ways to do this? You have this gavel. It says involvement with the law. No speeding, Pisces. In the readings that I just did, there were a bunch of people who got cards that basically said, don't speed. So I don't know. It could be like a collective energy at the end of the month here where the cops are out in force or something like that. So there you go. You have this grasshopper. It says situation in the balance that requires careful handling. I feel like this is about the leap of faith that you're about to take. Grasshoppers are also symbols of luck. So, I think you could be taking a leap towards something that is very lucky. But this looks amazing, Pisces. I feel good about this reading for you for some reason. It's not like overly an amazing reading, but I feel that way. Like, I feel good about it. So there you go. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.